A girl stormed the stage to stop my show. She left behind a graveyard massacre. He nearly fell over, so fucked up and exhausted and in the magic moment of being on stage and lost in the tidal waves of music that he didn't realize what the fuck was going on as some fine young dye job Red came barreling onto the stage and seized him about the shoulders. Stop! Stop the show! They won't listen to me. What? He went to say, but was immediately drowned out by a growing ascension flood of boo. Oh, oh. The audience was getting pissed, and so was the band. So was the screaming Red before him now. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. She was saying something about her friend, about how she's dead or some shit, and there's no fucking cops or security in this fucking joint, and she knows who did it and why the fuck won't he do something and help her, goddammit. They're getting away. He didn't know what was going on. He didn't understand anything at all, and like a Neanderthal knuckle-dragger dunce, he just stood there and gawked. Riv had had enough with the soft, limp wrist bitch boy from Free Cloud. She knuckled white, coiled back, and then let it fly. Her cluster of bone and digits smacked the son of Abich right in the jaw and put him on his ass. Riff caught the mic deftly in midair and screamed into it with such goddess fury that someone, no one knows who, but someone spoke up almost immediately, shouting it from the now frozen and arrested crowd, telling her exactly what she demanded to know from them. Where the fuck is Halloween Jack and his dickless pack of cousin fucker friends? She bolted out of the door in absolute fury and into the night. Nothing would stop her. No one did. No one tried. The last platform by the cemetery. The final one for the sub to pull into. At the end of the night. This was their turf. Everyone knew it. No one would fuck with them here. Here they could regroup. Reorganize. Think. What if someone saw? Jack thought the rest of them were being pussies. Who gives a fuck about some random bitch from the home? In her mad dash for the place, she carelessly bumped and slammed into many. Which was fine. For her. She didn't care. That was until she knocked into a time displacer. Poor sap had a wicked scar along his shaven scalp. She sent him sprawling to the cracked walkway, and then two Riff Randalls righted themselves and went dashing on their twin respective ways along two different parallel timelines. One Riff, on her furious charge for blood and retribution, ran into a mutant child hawking wares and various items and assorted randoms. One of the items was a crossbow with a quiver of arrows, full. She socked the unfortunate mutant child and grabbed the crossbow and quiver before bolting back onto her terrible path. The other Riff ran by one of the few shops that was still struggling to stay afloat, a window display for a shop filled with hunting and sporting goods inside. She slowed her dash to a trot and then stopped completely once she spotted what the mannequin display inside was brandishing. Crossbow, bolt action, easy to use. Quiver of arrows fully loaded slung over the plastic man's shoulder. She picked up a brick and bashed in the plate glass. No alarm, no one could afford them anymore. She snatched what she needed, dove back out, and went on. No one tried to stop her, either of her. The wound in space-time began to heal and close, as the two running parallel rifts slowly focused back and fused focal into one again, sprinting faster and trying not to let the tears that wanted, threaten to take over, have their way yet. Not yet. There's business to take care of. Once again whole, Riff ran on for the last subway station by the cemetery. It was almost midnight. She ran on like a jungle cat, fueled by the violence of a sun, a catastrophic napalm burst. A furious one-woman army charge. She is the Athenian battle of Marathon. At first, the whole of the day and the show was beginning to tax and make sluggish her acid-spewing sinew. She felt like she was gonna fucking hurl. You can't stop if you let those fucks get away, but it was okay. Riff came upon something, someone, just what she needed. She recognized the cat at a glance, and Lance straight for him. He couldn't believe the ungrateful little fucks. Sending him out on a run in the middle of the fucking show, absolute fucking bullshit. And with all those drippy babes there, he couldn't fucking believe it. He stopped presently. An inebriated grin started to creep across his clown-faced mug as his luck seemed to change in the form of a gorgeous rocker chick barreling straight for him. Fuck yeah. Thank you, God. I love Reds. She didn't give a fuck about the dealer. Just what he had on him. What she knew he had on him. Only reason someone like him was ever at the shows. She didn't usually touch the stuff all that much, but she knew it packed a punch. Would be a haluva pick-me-up. Riff Randall didn't slow or lose a step as she closed the distance to the dealer, raised a bald and mean fist, and pasted the greasy little fucking bastard across his jester's grinning maw. He went down in a useless heap. Lights out. She skidded to a reluctant stop, bent to the maggot's fat jacket pockets, and reached inside. She found them immediately. She pulled out two. Bulky hardware with fine, dainty nurse's sticker at the end. She always thought these looked strange. You're wasting time. Without another thought, she popped the cap and brought the Makani syringe up to her neck and stuck it in. Depressing the plunger, her blood filled with the royal red of liquid karma. Crimson King. The next instant she bolted, dropping the empty heavy metal husk like a spent shell casing, and pocketing the other in a drug-fueled flash. Slinging over shoulder the crossbow and quiver. I'm coming, Kate. They were all of them, the war party, and their chief smoking on a fat, oily cannabis log when Snoopy caught it in the throat, from out of nowhere. The long, slender black stick of smooth, unknown plasteel jutting from his neck as he tried to clutch it with slickening fingers and gurgling his last through the thick cords and ropes of red that were spouting out of him as if he were a living fountain and not a young man. He went down, slowly, to his knees first, then his side, gurgling and spasming and seeming to want to beg and plead for something, but being unable to do so, painting the cold metallic floor, the scene with his last and final dip from the inkwell. K.O. spilled. Here, his last. Oh, fuck. One of them said it, none of them were sure who. They all just looked down at Snoopy still. The long black industrial stalk sticking out of him like some terrible punctuation mark. It had come from out of nowhere. Clang. Another one. This one striking one of the surrounding steel support posts and sending out an issue of sparks. Fuck. All of them dove for cover. A beat. Silence. Nothing. Save for their own heavy breathing. A beat. Clang. Another shot. Another bursting issue of striking light. This one closer. Clang. Another more bursting caveman fire. Closer still. Jack screamed. A battle command. Fuck run. And they did. The Halloween dogs bolted, right for the dead calm of the neighboring graveyard. Randall followed after them. All of them were ducked under cover of the tombstones. The dead one's last and final speaking tablets. The Coos was fucking with them. They knew it was her. He knew. A beat. Nothing moved within the graveyard. In the stark silence of the post-midnight hour, the distant belching heart of the city's atmosphere processor could be heard in a low rumbling roar, like that of a hungry Old Testament beast. Jack grew tired of games. Fuck this. Come on out and actually fight ya. Fucking Coos. Hiding in the dark like a little bitch. Fuck you. It was a weak hand, but he didn't know how else to play it. Or with what else left he had to play. Save running. A beat. He thought it over. Fuck it. Fuck this. And fuck Halloween. Outrun nada. Word A this to anyone. I fucking swear he was shouting it even as he broke his own cover and took to his feet. The others followed suit. It was his last command. She tracked them easily. Her eyes were well trained to the dark from growing up in the home. From growing up in desperate Hunger City, she raised the weapon and fired, advancing with a brisk pace after each shot, taking her time to aim. Fire. Advance. Always keeping her wide and ruthless eyes on the fleeing, screaming targets, her mongrel inbred pack of prized hunted diamond dogs. Hellspawn dispatched, they would be her quarry. She would give no quarter. They would all be hers. She picked them off one by one and advanced. Her arrows found all of them. Jack in the lead was last. They made a trailing pass to him, the others, amongst the soiled, starving green of the cemetery floor. She made her way to him by them, one by one. Most of them were still struggling, still breathing, and begging God and her and anyone by the time she caught up with them. She found a good-sized stone that hefted in her hand real well. She liked the way it had felt in her hand then. The weight. She brought it down on all of them, one by one, crushing their crowns to chunky mash. Skull matter soup, with strips of face and ruined eyes swimming in the slurry. Davy, Mickey, Aladdin, and then the Ziguana. Jack was choking and trying to move. Arrows decorated his form, one in the windpipe like his bitch friend back at the platform, two about the spouting shoulder, the other in the meat between his inner thigh and his cock. He was trying to speak, trying to say something through the thick pooling crimson and spurting lurid red. She didn't care. She stood over him a moment, admiring his state, then sat down slowly on his chest. She stared into his eyes then, wanting him to see. Then, without breaking eye contact, she reached back and crudely wrenched and ripped free the arrow buried in the spouting meat of his leg. She brought it around and before her face. The arrowhead was still attached, still usable, dripping blood. A thick chunk of meat skewered through on its point. She brought the point of the arrowhead down and began to work. He threatened to go over and depart too early at one point, so she brought out the second mech of karma. She stuck him with it first and gave him half, then herself in the neck again, finishing it, sharing it. She was getting tired and didn't want to mess this up. He felt everything till the last. It became legend then, from that night on. The Samhain Gore Tree and the faceless Caitlin Rambo men. In the heart of the graveyard, it obelisk screamed towards the burnt-out heavens, an erupting hand of some long-buried giant corpse, revenant and wanting life again, but stuck, held, bound. From every dead, dried-out limb, a piece of hewn muscle, mangled genitalia, a strip of flesh or raw tissue dripping to the wanting, drinking earth. Faces. Many of the dead limbs, long desiccated corpse fingers, were draped in skinned jack-o'-lantern pieces cut from the dead boys mutilated at its base. Most of their skulls were crushed, but one, his skinless visage was left intact. Cut into the flesh of all of the dead boys was one name, over and over, as if by an obsessive and driven carving hand. Caitlin Rambo. She pulled the jacket she stole tighter about her person, drawing deeply on her fourth cigarette in the last 20 minutes. It didn't matter. It was almost time to go. The train would be leaving, the automated line was set to depart soon. No ticket. But that was fine. She'd always wanted to ride the rails like in the stories. A beat. She drew deeply and blew. Pitched it. Took one last look and then dove for the nearest open boxcar, her meager satchel of supplies slung over her shoulder. She hoisted herself up and threw herself inside. Finding darkness and solitude within, she was grateful. She was tired. Before long, the train got going and Riff Randall left desperate Hunger City behind. But not Kate. No. She carried her everywhere she went, on every adventure. Everywhere she went, he walked the filth of the ruinous thoroughfare alone, talking to no one. He didn't talk to anyone much anymore, not since Halloween, not since the show. His head still rang and swam with the memory of the many dealt-out blows. A kid cat called him, thought he was Black Shadrach. There was supposed to be a gig next Friday. Bo Manlow said so. He shook his head with good humor, waved the kid off. Nah, not me, kid. Name's Daniel. Sorry, have a good one. And he walked off solitary, leaving the kid behind. You've torn your dress, your face is a mess. You can't get enough, but enough ain't the test. You've got your transmission and your live wire. You got your queue line and a handful of lewds. You want to be there when they count up the dudes. And I love your dress. You're a juvenile success. Because your face is a mess, this ain't rock and roll. This is genocide. David Bowie. The End.